Hey, what's up, Facebook? How y'all doing tonight? It's the Nerf Herders. Looks like we got a pretty good crowd here tonight. Got a couple people wanting to roll with us on this journey. I'm Carter, and with me is Jason. It's just gonna be two of us tonight. Sometimes we have guest speakers. Brandon might join in later. We'll see if he's got availability. But right now, he gets to put up with Jason and I. So, Jason, what's been going on?
Oh, not much. Just working, traveling. Got back from Texas, enjoyed some nice barbecue. We got one of our old coworkers calling on. Saw that he joined, and a coworker from Dell, Eric, joined, and my pastor's watching right now, so I got to behave.
Well, good for you. No one's gonna judge me for my heathenish ways tonight, so I feel okay. Yeah, man. Hi everybody. Thanks for joining in tonight. We got a couple things to talk about. Hopefully, it'll be an entertaining time, and go ahead, throw some feedback at us in the chat here. Jason and I are both on it. So, Jason, what are we talking about tonight?
Well, I wanted us to kind of jump in first to just kind of recap the Star Wars movies. I wanted to kind of talk through the prequel. We reviewed all three movies. We talked about those, and I'm really curious as to who do you think's to blame for the path Anakin went down? I mean, I know he has his own choice and he chose that path himself, but there's obviously a lot of failures in that. I feel like, where do you think they came into play?
So, Anakin's bad choices. Well, he was a teenager. Obviously, teenagers make bad choices. That's one avenue. I would, if I had to look back, I think it was obviously it was Palpatine was in his ear from the get-go. Palpatine kind of, in the shadows, forced Anakin into the Jedi training and kind of manipulated himself into Anakin's life, and more so that we saw in the Clone Wars TV shows and in the movies. His movies they portrayed a little bit, but I think the Clone Wars show really spoke to more of that relationship. And Anakin never had a father, so I think Palpatine was the closest thing to a father figure in his eyes. Although most of us would probably think Obi-Wan would have been the likely choice, but
Yeah.
I would say Palpatine had his hooks in Anakin from the get-go.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time with it because I feel like the Jedi at some level failed him because there was a lot of circumstantial things you could bring up. The war started. They had to equip everybody. They were using the Jedi as an army, and they weren't really meant to be that. And then you had the issue too of I think Padme's to blame a little bit because she, seduced him into breaking the Jedi code and not letting him stick to that restriction that was there. You're not supposed to fall in love and have those kinds of connections. I think Palpatine had a blame in it. But, I mean, I think at the end of the day, if he's a Jedi, I really feel like I have to point the fingers back at the Jedi and blame them.
Yeah, Colin said thinking with his junk.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I would say that too. The raging hormones of a teenager, and there's no guidance or mentorship really. I felt like at any point with him,
Yeah.
it's like, when he got forced into the council, by Palpatine, everybody was just like, yeah, you're here, but we're not giving you the ranks, and you just sit here and be quiet, and you spy for us, and I know you're spying for him kind of thing. But it wasn't any like, let's pull him under our wing and actually mentor the guy.
Yeah. You brought up a good point. Padme, I don't know. I always had this weird vibe that Padme had feelings for Obi-Wan. Did you have that? Did you ever?
I could see. I mean, I get where you get that. So I could see that too. I think that's an interesting concept you bring up too. I don't know. That whole dynamic there is really weird because at the end of the day, Palpatine was Lester the Molester in my opinion. He's preying on young kids and perpetrating to his own ways. But I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I have to kind of point the fingers back at the Jedi Order for failing him as far as mentoring him and training up in the way he should go. But I also think that at the same time, he has the free will and the choice. He could leave at any point. They in the books and stuff, I know there's tons of Jedi that were exiled or left because of whatever. So I don't know. It's just a really, really hard thing for me. I was just thinking about that. Like, where was the breakdown at, and whose fault was it? I think there's a lot of influence there and manipulation that happened, and he's the victim of that.
Yeah. Well, and to kind of cue the audience in, we didn't really address this. Nerf Herder Radio is a podcast we talk primarily about Star Wars topics. We've been doing some Star Wars movie reviews. We'll always throw in Star Wars gaming any of the pop culture. Jason and I aren't as up on books and movies as some of the guests we have on. So from time to time, we'll have Matt come on, who's read all the books, and Brandon, who's read a lot of the books. And so we get different perspectives. But our primary focus is on Star Wars, but we'll talk about other stuff in case you're wondering why we jump straight into this conversation. So that's kind of our PSA, if you will.
Yeah.
There's a theory on the on the internet I saw that that basically implied that Palpatine is is Anakin's, and we'll call it air quotes, father. He's the one that influenced the midichlorians to impregnate Shmi. I don't know. Do you buy that? Do you think that's that reading too much into the lore? Do you think that that's accurate?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of speculation. I don't know. I think you can make the story. What's not canon, I think people will take and run with because it sounds good or it gives a better nefariousness or better overarching story and bigger plan to it. But maybe I'm kind of indifferent on that one. I think it could be that way. I think that at some level you have to kind of you got to look at it and say, is there some bigger nefarious purpose that's been plotted out from the beginning and that's just unraveled and we find it out in episode 9? Or was this literally one of those that's just like the spiritual divine side of it, where there's it's just a greater, higher being that let it be the way it was, and free will and choice led the way we are now, and through randomization and stuff we just ended up where we were. I don't know. I would like to think there's some greater purpose in the design in the story, because it kind of goes back to faith and things like that. But at the same time, Snoke or somebody who's been behind the scenes, the Sith could have laid something out. I guess that's the thing is there's so much story that takes place outside of what we see in the movies. It makes it really hard to know what's correct and what's not. Did Snoke have some ulterior plan? There's an article that came out too that talks about Rey is maybe a clone of Leia. There's a theory out there that says that now, and that's why they've always had this bond and connection from the beginning, and that's what's happening there. So who knows? There could be something more there, and it could not. Yeah,
since we're throwing out spoilers and theories, I got another Rey theory I read on the internet. That she is Han and Kira's daughter. Kira was the love interest from Solo. So I don't buy that.
Oh.
That doesn't imply that. That would imply that Han cheated on Leia at some point in their relationship, and I don't buy that. So anyway, there's another interesting theory. She could be Kira's daughter. I mean, they could try to work that into the story at some point, but I just don't think she's Han's daughter either. So
yeah. Colin feels like I'm a Sith Lord because I'm sitting in the dark. I actually just have all the lights off and I have lights pointing on my face, so I don't look all pasty and gross.
Yeah. Well, the special effects do wonders for you, Jason.
Yes, they do. I have a face for radio.
And a voice for print. That's what I was told.
Ouch. Okay.
So, all right. No, I think we all agree Palpatine was the puppet master in Anakin's turn and betrayal of the Jedi Order. I don't think there's any mistake there. Could he have made this turn on his own free will? I don't think so. He had a lot of rage, and I don't know if that was misguided by Palpatine, especially toward his mom. But maybe that was the whole Yoda's primary concern was his age.
Well, I was gonna say that, yeah, his age. He was, he came in and with these raw emotions and stuff, and he wasn't, just like anybody else who goes through puberty, their emotions go crazy for a while, and he came in and started learning all these powers and stuff, and just was led astray.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I mean, last Star Wars thing I want to talk about is just with Star Wars technology. There's a cool article out there that talks about the 9 pieces of tech we have now as a reality. And I was just curious, what do you what do you think from Star Wars that's not out there that you wish you had? Is it space travel? Is it the hyper jump? Is it the back to tanks? I mean, some stuff.
Lightsabers.
Lightsabers. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Some of the stuff they say we have now, it's like the battle droids. There's the stuff that's coming out of who is it? That's like Google-owned company. They make the robot dogs and stuff. I can't think of the name of them. They're out. The HUD's a big thing though. Holograms is becoming more relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Robotic hands, through 3D printing and stuff. Magnetic levitation with the magnetic trains. Robots in general. They point out 3D chess because I guess an AR or something, and then hovercrafts, and then they say lightsabers are a reality only because of what's been used to do like laser surgery and some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
no, there was I remember a couple of years ago there was a show about technology, Star Wars, probably 20 years ago, to be honest, a long time ago, where they talked about some of the innovations in science fiction of driving, especially in the medical industry, things like that. I mean, dude, don't get me wrong, I'd love to have a flying car or something. I think that's what we were promised by this point, at least from the Jetsons' perspective.
yeah.
In all practicality, I mean, I don't know.
I would say speeder bikes, but the reputation that everybody has with like Bird and Uber scooters, that would just be, the ER would be backed up all the time.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
So.
I of all the speeder bike races, I've never seen one end without 100% casualty.
Yeah.
Like I could see that, unless you had like special tracks designed for it out in the redwood forest or something. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a preference. I think I try to think of the more practical things that are out there and stuff. I don't want blue milk. I definitely don't want that. I don't know what evaporators do and moisture farm evaporators do, so I can't say that.
Well, they pull moisture out of the air on a desert planet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Creating water. Well, I think that would be kind of cool to have. So we'll go with that one. I'll say moisture evaporators.
Maybe. Well, Bill Gates he's already big into water reclamation projects in Africa, so I think that might somewhat be a reality.
Yeah, Colin and Joel are recommending probe droids.
Yes, I'm sure they are.
So
Joel's out in the redwoods right now. Maybe he could give us a speeder bike lesson, what it's like out in California, dodging trees. So Joel. What else? Let me see. I mean, the modes of transportation is the idea of space flight at a commercial scale, not too far off. I think not too far off. Yes, I think we're probably still hundreds of years before we fully, I don't know what the word is, but get into commercial space travel. Whether it's Elon Musk III puts a hotel on Mars, or we get into something like The Expanse, where we're harvesting ice from meteorites and things like that, to where we've truly, reached out into the stars. I think we're several hundred years away from that. The maglev ideas. I mean, the only problem with a lot of the automation, especially like automated cars and a lot of that stuff, is you still have to calculate human error into it.
Oh, yeah.
In a fully autonomous population where we have automated cars driving us everywhere, people just, punching in the nav and the car takes them, is the intelligence there smart enough to slam on the brakes when some idiot runs out in front of you, or a dog crosses the street, or, some guy.
I think you look at it kind of like, what's the movie with Will Smith? iRobot. They had all the vehicle transportation was automated. And there wasn't like a walking. It was just it's kind of like what Elon Musk Hyperloop tunnel he's trying to build. It's just a super fast tunnel that you went into, and when you got out, then you're within a certain range of walking that you could feasibly do. So I would probably see us getting to that standpoint. So where I live, I am between Clarksville and Nashville, and so I could see them doing a Hyperloop, if you will, between Clarksville and Nashville, and between there, it's a straight shot. You don't get out of a car; it's fully automated. And then once you're in Nashville, you walk around, or you use a bird scooter or something like that. At that point, where there's no other car traffic, so you don't have to worry about having fruit punch and Kool-Aid all over the street. But I don't know. I think we're still a ways off from that. People in the South like to drive; they like that free will and control. I think there's some value and convenience in it because you could sit in traffic then and work and not have to worry about driving and those types of things. But who knows?
Yeah, I did see a story not too long ago that people are testing a drone concept for transportation, like Uber shuttle.
Yeah, we were down in Texas and saw that. So
okay, yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of cool, but I don't think I could fly in places like Tennessee or where I live, Oklahoma, because we do have rednecks with guns, and they would take pot shots at the flying Uber machines. So until society kind of grows up, I don't know if those things are realistic or not.
Yeah, it all depends.
Um,
When it's just kind of like you go out into the more rural areas. Yeah, where laws are a little different, or people aren't as able to enforce them as much. Yeah.
yeah, and from the science, medical perspective, I think you'd mentioned the Bacta tanks, and for those that are curious what that is, Empire Strikes Back after Luke gets beat up by the I forgot what the cave was. It not the Wampa? I don't remember. It's been a while. He's in that Bacta tank, which
Yeah,
is like
no, it wasn't the was it the
not the
Wampa?
Wampa.
Yeah, it was the Wampas because he was riding the Tauntaun.
Right, yeah.
Wow, we're nerds.
Yes, Colin, Texans would take pot shots too. It's like think of it like antibiotic water. I think to today they do that sort of stuff. My mom had knee surgery and had to go in several months after the surgery, and the doctor, she was getting an infection, and so they went in and did like a antibiotic wash. So kind of reopened her knee, looked at the replacement, flushed it all with antibiotic fluid. Now are we going to sit in a tank that heals us? I don't know, but I mean, I think the concept is there that modern medicine is looking into that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah.
So, cool. Yeah. Well, cool, man. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, do you think space transit is far off? You think it's
technically we have space transit? It's just not mass transit.
Yeah.
We did go to the moon. We've been around. We have a space station and stuff. I don't know. I think that's an area. I wish we would explore more. I felt like when there was the push by Kennedy to go to the moon and the race to space and all that stuff back then, there was a lot of innovation that happened. And then once we got there, it was like, okay, cool, that's it. And Colin brings up cold therapy and cryo tanks and stuff too. That's another good call out.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I mean, I don't think it's feasible yet because we can't produce oxygen in deep space. You have to have a pressurized space to create oxygen or filter the oxygen out and recycle it and things like that. So, at some point, we have to overcome some of the major challenges. I feel like
they do that underwater. Submarines have figured that out. I mean, you're breathing fart air for 6 months.
Well, I know you do it on a plane too. So. But that's what I'm saying is but long term, like water and things like that, I don't think that they're fully there yet. So the sustainability factors have to be addressed first.
Right.
I mean, you could Bear Grylls it for a while and pee into a cup and filter it, I guess, through a Brita water pitcher and re-drink it. But at some point, you're drinking concentrated pee probably. So
true.
There's those types of challenges. I don't know. I'd love to see it. It probably won't be in my time though.
Yeah. No. Colonization of space. That was the word I was looking for earlier. Colonize space. So, I mean, and that's one of the things I liked about the Expanse series. I don't know if you watched it or read the books or anything, but they kind of addressed those sort of real world scenarios like ice and water. Understanding that we need water to survive, and so they kind of colonized the outer planets and all that, but they still harvest ice from the rings of Saturn or meteorites in space, and so there's a big industry for ice hauling. So I think they kind of tackle some of those issues, but still kind of grounded in a science fact universe. So
yeah. So
cool.
Well, moving off, I think beating the tech horse over the head enough. I think the only two more interesting things I've seen kind of come with Star Wars this week is there's a comic coming out. Terrible release date, September 11th. But it's called Age of Resistance, and the cover of it is going to feature Snoke. And somebody pointed out to what's interesting about this cover is the mossy, swampy-looking tree in the background. And there's a lot of speculation because this comic is supposed to dive into the story of Snoke, Kylo Ren, Rey a lot more, and early on, and in the book, apparently, it's kind of like what you're talking about with Palpatine, but it speculates was Snoke manipulating, Ben Solo back in the womb of Leia and then grooming him from that standpoint into where he is now. But is there a Dagobah tie-in? Is that where he's from? Is there something there? And then was he hiding when Yoda was there? So all those little things like that are kind of some speculation about it. So I thought that was interesting. And then the other thing
Yeah.
I was going to say is we've got Daisy Ridley as being sought out to be Batgirl, possibly by DC movies.
Oh, okay. Well, not a bad choice. I like who's the girl playing Batgirl on the TV shows?
Oh, crud. Ruby Rose, I think's her name.
Yeah, Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
The Snoke thing, I don't know. I still think that either JJ needs to explain him in episode 9 because I think it's the last chance we're going to get. Otherwise, this is all just speculation and grasping at straws. I don't to say that he was hiding on Dagobah. I don't buy it.
You can play the Weird Al song.
Somebody with that much power, I think that, and I think Matt brought it up last week in the podcast. We were asking about how Palpatine could operate without so many Jedi catching on to him, and he could disconnect himself from the Force. Yep. And so Luke did that in episode 8, if you will. Saying that Snoke's been hiding on Dagobah. I mean, yeah, it looks like Dagobah, but there is some metal structure behind it, so I'm not totally bought into that.
Yeah.
The other, so who knows? I mean, he may be from another jungle-like planet, or it could be something from Rebels or somewhere else. But
yeah, it's a lot of reach right now when there's not a lot of information out there. I just want Snoke explained more. I thought that was we were robbed of that setup in
like so many other things.
Yes.
We were robbed episode 8. Yeah.
In Last Jedi. So I need to go back and watch it again, just because it just so much happens and so little happens at the same time. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't know what to think of this character. If they are going to address it, I don't know why. I mean, Kylo killed him. He's dead. He was from the, I guess in some of the books, I think he was from the outer reaches of the Star Wars galaxy. So that doesn't tie into Dagobah. I don't know.
Colin thinks Dagobah as well, so I'd be curious to see what happens. I don't know. I want some story there, and I may have to invest in these comics.
I'm still going off the fact that Snoke is an acronym for Sith no one knew existed. Snoke. Either he is, I don't think he's Darth Plagueis. I don't think he's any of the old Sith lords from any of the other books. I just think he's a Sith user, dark side of the Force user from somewhere out in the galaxy. Now, JJ may explain him or he may not. If he doesn't, I'm fine. I don't at this point, I don't think I need an explanation for him for a dead character.
Yeah.
So it's my opinion.
Yep.
And Daisy is Batgirl. That's not a bad choice. She's fairly athletic. I think she can probably pull off the moves. I don't know who else you go for in that sort of role. I just wish DC would get their act together on their universe and figure out what they're doing as far as movies. This is, if they're trying to, and I think they've abandoned the idea of playing catch up with Marvel with this consistent universe.
Yeah. Well, they've already said that the new Batman that our boy Robert Pattinson's supposedly cast in is not going to tie in with the Justice League or any of the Batfleck stuff. They're not doing another Justice League. I think I heard. There's an Aquaman 2 that's going to come out. We got Wonder Woman coming out next year. And then there's the Joker movie that's coming out, which I would rather even if DC wants to bring them together at certain times, that's fine with me. They don't have to make this elaborate universe like Marvel did, but just make some good movies and good story. Stick to the dark grit that I always associate with DC, and I think they're going to do that with Joker. The Aquaman movie I like. The Wonder Woman's I like. The Justice League was terrible. So I don't think they need to force that down our throats. Just give us good content and good movies.
No. I mean, we've beat Justice League up over the podcast for the past 6 months. There's no sense in going back down that road. I
do have to agree with Colin though. They're never going to catch MCU up dollar wise. That ship.
No, I don't. Well, how many times? I think they could. I honestly think they could if they'd have to reboot the series again. But how many people have the patience to stick with it? Nobody wants to see another Batman origin film. Nobody wants to see another Superman origin film. I mean, the only character of interest left that I think I would like to see one, and I still stand by my statement that we didn't need it for the Justice League of Cyborg. We know how he was created, but there's very little about him in particular.
Yeah.
But
I
those are
think they would have
the
to do
the
something
DC
without the
guys are
traditional
the
characters too.
what?
Do something with characters that aren't the common Justice League characters. Do like Young Justice League or Teen Titans. And I know Teen Titans is on the DC streaming service, and it's okay, but something like that that's a little different that you can have a breath of fresh air with. It's not, hey, let's go through the origin story of Batman as parents die. Let's go through the origin story of Superman, like you're saying. We spend 45
Right.
minutes of a movie reviewing content we've seen 1,000 times.
Well, they can't do it. If they wanted to make money, they can't do Young Justice. They can't do Teen Titans. They have to go with the most recognizable characters, and those are Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Period. If they want to run a Justice League, they have to have those three characters.
Yeah.
The other characters, Aquaman, Green Lantern, Hawkman, Martian Manhunter, you name it, are ancillary to that point, but you've got to have those three. And I think with the casting of Gal Gadot, I think she's amazing. She does a great Wonder Woman. I think what's his name playing Superman is good.
Henry Cavill.
Cavill, yeah, Henry Cavill. But I think the problem is now they're aging. And so if they're going to reboot, they have to reboot those three characters all with young 20-somethings. 20-something actors. You can't get 30-something, 40-something actors to pull that off. And so, you cash grab Jason Momoa for Aquaman for as much as you can get. You finally get The Rock to do Black Adam if they're going to do a Shazam 2. You cash grab those movies, but then you've got to come out with some sort of statement that's saying we're separating, we're rebooting, we're going young. And if you do Young Justice, you still have to have Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And you just recast them and start a new universe. And that's, we don't need origin stories for those characters at all. When you look at what Marvel did, Iron Man was a B character. He's a B-lister. He wasn't an A-list character. Hawkeye, B-lister. The only A-list character in the Avengers movies was Hulk and Captain America. And so, if you look at the success they had, is Feige basically looked back and saw everything, all the pieces they had left after they sold everything off. He said, we have the Avengers, and so we can do a story there. Now, if they would have miscast any of those characters, the MCU would never be what it was today. They nailed it with Robert Downey Jr. I think he was, they probably could have cast somebody else for Cap. Chris Evans, I don't think, just embodied the role of Steve Rogers. I mean, he kind of played the true blue American hero, but I think anybody could have done that. But I think Robert Downey Jr. was perfect. And he made that character likable. Now, they could find somebody else in the DC side to make Aquaman likable or to make Green Lantern likable. If you do Jon Stewart, Kyle Reaver, whatever his name is, and then Hal Jordan, whichever Green Lantern you want to do. The casting's got to be right, but I think they could do it.
It's all about the cast. Colin was kind of stating, commenting he was over Marvel, and I kind of agree. I feel like it's coming very cookie cutter with Marvel. Where we're getting they've got these templates, if you will, of maybe like 6 different movies. We've got origin story movie, a sequel movie, a bridge/plot filler movie for the overall phase.
Then the big Avengers.
The big event. The mid, from a video game standpoint, the early boss, the mini boss, and then the final boss, if you will, of content too. They have these probably 6 or 7 templates that they use, and that's really it. And so I think Spider-Man: Far From Home is going to be one of those kind of setup/plot filler movies. It'll have some tongue-in-cheek stuff in it. I tagged it on our page. It's the new thing. May throws a banana at him and it hits him in the face, and she's like, you can dodge bullets, but you can't dodge a banana. What happened to your Peter tingle? And he's like, please don't call it a tingle. So I thought that was real funny. So, there's those just types of movies that they've got, and they just plug whatever they need to for whatever characters to make it work. So I do agree too. I think DC has the better video game franchise over Marvel, but I mean, we'll see, because the Avengers video game by Square is coming out I think it's this fall or next fall. And I'm on the fence on it because I wasn't too impressed with the trailer on it, but the graphics look pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I do think that we got to. I wish these two comic book studios would. I think Marvel needs to take some more advantageous stuff. Which now that they own Fox, they did that with Deadpool. They allowed Deadpool to happen, which to me was a total 180 on what they are producing, because it's definitely much more adult, much more mature. And then you've got the rest of the stuff they bought, IP they bought with Fantastic Four and X-Men. I really hope that with X-Men and some of those characters, if they either bring them in the MCU or they bring them into the Deadpool MCU, if you will, where they're more darker, grittier, and it's just something different. I'll still go see all the Marvel movies. My kids like them, so I'm a sucker for them too. So nothing's going to change there, but yeah.
Yeah. The Deadpool stuff, I think he's going to stick closer more to the X-Men mutant side. If they do anything with him, you still got to figure Disney's a PG company and he's a rated R movie. I don't know how much they're going to invest in that.
I mean, as much money as it's been making, they'd be foolish not to.
Well, what made more, that or Infinity War? Or Endgame?
Well, I mean, they're still. It's not a matter of which made more. It's if it's profitable. If it's making the money, what's the harm in making it?
I get it, but
Fahey, and they've came out and said that they're not abandoning Deadpool at all. It's going to be around.
No, I don't think they will either. But if you're looking at biggest movie ever type numbers, it didn't have Deadpool in it. Disney makes money before anything, so I'm not saying they're going to abandon it. I wouldn't expect a whole lot of rich development thrown in it. I think that the tongue-in-cheek attacks he has toward Fox and toward the mutants and all that stuff is what makes Deadpool great. I think if you overwhelm that character with complexity, I think it would fall apart.
Yeah. Well, he's meant to be tongue-in-cheek and stuff.
Exactly.
I would love for him to literally walk out one time with a bunch of cookie cutters and be like, "Oh, we're making Marvel character movies or something like that." That would be really funny to me.
Yeah. I don't see him really delving into that. Now, what they do with the mutants, that'd be another story.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
All right. What else we got?
Well, I mean, I thought it was really cool. We're talking about Marvel and stuff. It was confirmed Tom Hardy's coming back as Venom in Venom 2, so that'll be exciting to see. I actually enjoyed the first movie. I know it's not taking true to the Venom character. He's more of an anti-hero. Kind of that Deadpool-y type thing. He eats the villains and stuff so he can stay alive, but so he doesn't kill Eddie Brock. But I really enjoyed the movie. I thought just from being a standalone type of thing, it was great. And then, of course, the post-credit scene, they introduced, what is it? I can't think. Carnage. I forget what the guy's name is, Cassius or Cadius or whatever. So I'm really curious, are we going to see Carnage in this sequel?
And it's cast by Woody Harrelson, right?
Yeah, Woody Harrelson played
in the preview.
Yeah. Woody Harrelson could play that character really well, I feel like, as far as being the crazy human version. Now, as far as if you need somebody else to do the Carnage psycho killer side of it, if you had to, I don't know.
Yeah, I admit I watched Venom for the first time. I saw it Sunday. I hadn't seen it before, and I think it was on Hulu or Netflix or one of those services. I was Hulu, I think, and I enjoyed it. It doesn't tie into the Star Wars universe at all, which I was questioning the legitimacy of it at first. Like, how do you have a Venom movie without Spider-Man? But I think they did a good job. The fact that they're all these, parasites from whatever planet that dude found, and they're trying to bring them all back, and like the only things that kill them are sound and fire. I was like, well, okay, that's okay. The fact that he talks to Eddie. I mean, the symbiotic suit did that in the comics, so that wasn't too far off. Yes, he is more of an anti-hero than a villain, but I'd be okay with another one of these movies. I think Hardy does a great job. He's a fantastic actor in anything he does. Could they loop in Spider-Man? They could. I don't know if they have to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know if crap, who is it that plays Spider-Man? I can't think of his name now. Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
I don't know if Tom and Tom could really work together on the script. I mean, I think they could, But yeah, it would be interesting to see because they're also as how their film styles have been a little different too. So
Yeah. I mean,
Sony's got more control over Venom than anything. I feel like they're holding on to that as much as they can because they know the cash cow that Marvel is.
sure, yeah. I mean, yeah, if they went true to the story and the symbiotic suit chose Peter, from the OG comics, or left Tom and went to Peter. I mean, in the comics, it was Peter's first, and then he left and split off and became Venom. If they could somehow tie that into Spider-Man and the opposing suits would be cool. But like I said, with the direction they went with Riot and then Carnage, and so all of these symbiotes have, adjective names, I guess. I don't know. There's Party, and I'm sure there's, Mischief, and whatever names they want to come up with these
wee little shenanigans.
These beings. Then it would be okay. I don't know. I think they have to get off Earth if they're going to do anything with the story. I just don't think Carnage.
They have to get off Earth. I think it's just one of those things. Is this might be one of those things they make. It's a 1-2 movie hit and they're done because depending upon how they drag it out. I mean, if Sony was smart, they would pull like they did with Spider-Man and get Marvel to start helping them drive that character deeper and more rich.
Yeah. I don't recall how Carnage came to be. If anyone in chat knows, I didn't know if that was another symbiote, if the suit picked him, how he came to be. So that was he came around after my time of reading comic books. So I'd love to hear that. But no, I'm just saying. I'm saying they have to get off world if they really wanted to expand this bigger story. But no, I'm with you. Yeah, 1-2 more movies. So strike while the iron's hot. That'd be fine.
Yeah. So Carnage is based off of the Venom symbiote, and so according to Wikipedia, he is depicted as the offspring of Venom. So, Venom went and had a baby, and then he went with it's Cletus Cassidy. So, come on, Cletus. So,
hi, Cletus. No, that'd be cool.
Colin saying that they should just dye Holland's hair blonde and let him play Scarlet Spider. That would be weird.
That would be kind of crazy.
Yeah. I would love to see that, though. I mean, that's something they could go with, too. They could introduce, Spider-Girl, Spider-Woman, or Scarlet Spider, and some of those characters. I don't know who owns those, if Sony does or if it's Disney now. But
I don't know.
But that would be, they could expand that universe more that way. Like, it could just be the Venom universe with those characters, and you could pull a Maleficent where Venom's kind of portrayed as the good guy, and Scarlet Spider becomes the Venom or the villain and stuff. I don't know. I'd like to see that kind of stuff. I think it's creative and it's different direction.
Yeah. Colin, who's Venom boning? That's a great question. Who knows?
That's the other thing. Maybe he's he's self-reproducing. Whatever that's I forget what that's called.
He's asexual.
There you go.
He's boning himself.
So I think in something else exciting, we did a poll, and I think we, after looking at the poll and us talking about it, we're going to bring back the Midlife Crisis matinee. Don't know when exactly. We're talking around how we want to do that and incorporate that. Do we want to do it on the show live on 9:30? Do you want to do a separate post? I don't know, but we're going to do that back, bring that back, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, well, yeah, that'll be exciting. I think we do have to get Ray back in because we never did do a review of Last Dragon.
Yes, sure enough.
So I think Ray had jumped in at one point. Ray, if you're still out there, chime in. But yeah, we need to get Ray on to finish The Last Dragon. Now I'm throwing down a rule on this Midlife Crisis matinee, and Kelly's not gonna like this, but she doesn't get to pick any more movies.
Hey. She's picked some good movies, okay? Only she really picked was Mac and Me, which she liked as a child. I've never seen it. I enjoyed it. It's bad enough that it's good. And then what was the other one? April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day was a good movie.
Okay, that one wasn't bad. But
right.
Yeah, there's no Mac and Me. Come on.
Hey, come on. It's bad enough that it's
or
good.
Critters. Was Critters your pick or was
Critters
that
was
pick?
mine. I grew up watching Critters.
Then
but you
anyone
know
with the
what?
last name Turner can't pick movies. There, I'm just
But you
gonna
know what? At least
settle.
I know that trailers come out before any movie I pick.
Are you ever gonna let that go, Aquaman?
No, I am not. I'm not. I'm not going to be.
Okay,
Also,
so okay, here we will make this as democratic as possible. We will select movies and put them up in a poll, and we will let the audience decide what
ooh,
movies. How
Colin
about
brings
that?
up a good point. Maybe we should do Mystery Science Theater style.
No, that's too long, and
You got to do the whole movie.
I can't stay up that late anymore.
You're not that witty, is what you're saying.
No, it gets old after a while. Plus, it's already been done. Maybe Colin could jump in and be one of our guest speakers on the Midlife Crisis Matinee. He's been active tonight, so Colin, we might call you in to jump in with us. But yeah, I like that idea. We'll pick like 3 movies. We'll put a post up. We'll let it run for a week, and we'll let the audience decide which movie we review. How
Yep.
about that?
Works for me.
Okay. And Kelly, you can vote however your heart desires.
Hey, don't be hating. Don't be hating.
I'm just kidding, Kelly. I'm just teasing you. Having a little fun tonight.
Ooh, and
So,
Colin said Aliens. That'd be a good one to go with.
man, we tried to stay away from the. I know, we did like Back to the Future and um, Big Trouble in Little China. I mean, we tried to stay away from just the blockbusters and pick somewhat. We'll call them a down-rung movies. I mean, some of my favorites was like Last Starfighter. I mean, we never did any of the Star Wars movies. We never even did any of the Star Trek movies. We kind of circled around the Rotten Tomatoes score of, we'll call it 80 to 85. I mean, we never went real big, but yeah, Aliens would be a good one. I mean, if we wanted to go big and wanted to crank it up a notch, then Aliens. I mean, Brooke wants us to do Xanadu. No.
I saw this one. I'll have to find the post for it. It's called The Sand or Sand, and it's such a B movie, but it's right up there with something I would love to see. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll probably looks
Flight
like,
of the
I don't know.
Navigator is a good one too. Yeah, that would be a good one.
What a bad movie.
No.
It was a Disney film, right? Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, I
I
think it
don't
was.
know.
But what's your target? I mean, I know summer's kind of a slow time period, and I've got a road trip here in about 6 weeks. So when do you want to get this thing kicked off?
Why not 6 weeks then?
Okay.
No, I don't know. Let's get past the. Obviously next week's the 4th of July, and everybody we'll all probably be traveling. I'm going down to visit family and set off explosives. A lot of explosives, a trailer load of explosives. I can't wait. Fireworks, by the way, not real explosives. In case the ATF is listening.
Colin mentioned the Explorers, and I have to be honest, Colin. That was probably my favorite, other than like the big Star Wars movies. Probably my favorite sci-fi movie of the '80s.
I just
love
remember
that
them
movie.
taking their oxygen masks off that were just hospital air masks to eat
Yeah.
Cheetos and stuff. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd
Great
be a good
movie.
one to do too. I mean, the only other thing I figured we could talk about too is I don't know if you've gotten to see it or not. Toy Story 4 came out, the new Chucky came out, and what else was there? I think that was really it. That was kind of the big movies that came out that I know of. This one called Anna as well. I haven't seen anything about it. I don't know if it's kind of supposed to be like a what, but she's apparently some kind of super assassin chick or something, and most feared ever. But have you seen any of those, or had a chance to look at it and watch those?
Man, I haven't. I got to be honest with you. Toy Story 3 was about as gut-wrenching a movie as I wanted to watch. I thought that was a perfect ending to the story. I don't have a desire to see 4.
Keanu Reeves is in it, man. We got John Wick in that one.
I hear you, but I'm just.
I mean, Mr. Cyberpunk, Matrix, and maybe a Marvel MCU character. He's kind of coming in the limelight again.
Only if they remake Johnny Mnemonic. I don't have any desire to see it. I really don't. I don't know. Like I said, I think when Lotso threw him in the incinerator, and I thought Buzz and Woody were going to die. I mean, there was something in the theater.
Holy Lord! You talk about psychologically just destroying something about like a bunch of children too. If you think about children that just grew up watching those and they love those characters, and they're sitting there watching an incinerator happen.
by a purple bear named Lotso Huggin Bear. I mean, how psychologically screwed up could you be?
What did he smell like too?
I don't
It was
remember.
like blueberries or strawberries or something.
I think so, but
Yeah.
I just I'm no, I'm not gonna go see it. I don't know.
I want to see that
Child's
in Chucky.
Child's Play looks funny. Definitely looks like kind of a funny take on it. And then Mark Hamill, the voice of Chucky.
Yeah, I was gonna say Luke Skywalker plays the voice of Chucky, so that should be fun.
I don't know. I think my favorite scene with Chucky still goes back to Ready Player One when he throws him out the car when they're fighting on Planet
Oh
Two.
yeah, yeah.
He starts knifing all those Sixers. Chucky
Yeah,
was awesome in that part. But
that was pretty cool.
no, I'm sure I'll see it at some point. I'm not going to pay money to go see that movie. But no, I mean, last movie I saw was Godzilla. And I think the next movie I'll see is probably going to be Spider-Man. If I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta get a movie pass. I gotta just go ahead and chalk it up and get one of those AMC movie passes. I think so.
I mean, this summer when you look at all the blockbusters, I think obviously with Endgame, it qualifies as a summer movie because it came out in April. This seems like this has been just a dull summer for movies.
It hasn't been a lot of stuff. I mean, yeah, I would say June. What is it? I have a list somewhere. Hold on, let me pull it up. Notes list. There it is. Let's see here. So, come on. So starting in May, just the things that came out. And some of them came out kind of quietly too. You had Ugly Dolls, the kids movie. Yeah, the Detective Pikachu movie in May. Tolkien, which I want to see, but that quietly came out. John Wick 3, Aladdin, Brightburn, and Godzilla in May. June, you had Dark Phoenix, Life of Pets, MIB. The Dead Don't Die came out. I want to see that one. It's got
that looks funny.
Oh
I'll
my
give you
gosh,
that.
with
That
Bill Murray
funny.
and stuff, that looks hilarious. Toy Story 4 this month, Child's Play, and Annabelle come out. And then the only thing I really got that was come out in July is Spider-Man, Lion King, and it's that Tarantino. I think it's a Tarantino movie. It's that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's got Brad Pitt and DiCaprio in it. I don't know. Supposedly it's supposed to tie in, I thought, to Charles Manson murders or something. Like these two guys are.
Yeah, because Sharon Tate's in it. I remember seeing her name.
So it looks that was kind of the summer of releases, and so for me, and so there's not a lot of big like earth-shattering blockbusters. It wasn't like so your Transformers came out, the first one. You had that. You had the Die Hard, Live Free or Die Hard, where they hacked the U.S. and all that stuff, and like tons of other blockbuster movies that year, and so. But it is. I'll say this too. A lot of stuff's getting absorbed. Netflix is absorbing a lot of content, and a lot of stuff is going into the streaming services more too. So that.
I mean, if you look at, what did I see they grabbed? Crap, I can't.
I know what you're talking about. We talked about it the other day. It was something that was actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Just search off Netflix. Office is coming off of Netflix, people, so get your Office fix in.
Oh boy.
I'm going to have to.
And what is it's AJR's got a song about them, so I mean, the big blockbuster movies coming out the rest of the summer. I mean, Hobbs and Shaw. No.
That's going to be terrible.
I'm not going to pay money to see that crap. I think Spider-Man Far From Home is probably the last blockbuster movie coming out. I'm looking at IMDb right now.
Colin Chapman brings up a good point. Stranger Things 3 comes out next week. I'm gonna, there's some TV stuff that's come out too. I know you and I watch Yellowstone. That one's gonna be. I'm really excited about that one.
I mean, Lion King. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not interested in seeing it at all.
I'm not that hot on that. I'll tell you the one movie that's coming out that I might sneak just kind of in a go see is Yesterday. The one about from India, about the guy who wakes up and the Beatles never existed.
Oh yeah, that looks interesting.
All the Beatles
that's gonna be probably one of that looks like one of those like quiet, surprises.
Yeah, sleeper hits.
Sleeper hits, yeah.
Then there's another. I just saw it.
Stuber looks good too, by the way. That's got Dave Bautista and Kumail Nanjiani.
What's that?
Stuber.
Yeah.
That's gonna be funny.
Another one of those, Angel Has Fallen,
Yeah,
whatever.
I'll see those. Gerard Butler movie. That's a
Yeah.
straight up action flick. I'll go see that. Hobbs and Shaw just looks terrible to me.
Stupid.
It's an action flick, but I feel like it's the Kyle Monster Energy Drink Florida Georgia line of action movies.
Yeah.
It's just kind of terrible.
Angel Has Fallen. Yeah, there it is. It's coming out August 23rd.
Yeah.
Um.
But yeah,
Yeah, dude.
there's not been a big release of summer hits, so I'm curious kind of what the looking at some of the stuff the fall's gonna look like. I know it chapter 2 comes out and I can't wait. It comes out in September. So
I mean, like Rambo: Last Blood.
I'll see that.
I'll see it. I don't know. Ad Astra, I'll tell you, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, that looks really cool
Brad
too.
Pitt movie, Tommy Lee Jones. That one looks decent.
There's a lot of content though. I just feel like there's the amount it costs to go see a movie versus watching a TV series. To me, I feel like there's better value and a return on the time and money spent on this TV series a lot of times. Yes, some of them are shorter and stuff, but Yellowstone's great. Stranger Things is awesome. Yeah, I gotta wait a year or two, but I get 9 hours of content versus 1 hour.
That you lock yourself in and binge it all in one day.
Yeah. But whereas with a movie, I mean, they're still great, but it's tough for me because it's like go see a movie with my family. It's over $100.
Yeah. 21 Bridges is a movie I was looking at, and that's Chadwick Boseman. He's a cop in New York, and they're investigating a murder, and that one looked really good. It comes out in September. This movie sounds awesome. I can't wait to see it. It's called The Hunt, and it's an action horror thriller. Plot details kept under wraps, so we know nothing about this movie, what it is. We just know it's called The Hunt.
A teacher lives a lonely life while struggling over his son's custody. Well, that came out in 2012. Never mind. I speak wrong. What's that one? It's like where they just released a trailer for it. It's coming out in August too, where dude marries the girl, and then the family has to play hide and seek. And they're like
Ready or Not, right?
Ready or Not, yeah. So this movie looks insane because you marry into this family, and then they have this ritual that they have to chase you down, and you have to survive. But the goal is if they don't kill you, bad luck comes over their family or something, and it just looks insane.
Yeah, I saw that. Terminator is November 1st. Midway, is this the story of the Battle of Midway, starring Luke Evans, Patrick Wilson, Woody Harrelson, Mandy Moore. Interesting. I wonder if it's gonna be like 9 hours long, like the original Midway was.
So Colin Azias is wanting to know if we'll talk about Game of Thrones. Is letting him know we broke down every episode already on previous posts. So I would go check those out, Colin. And feel free to post and we can have a conversation on those. And then Colin Chapman wants to know if we qualify Tremors as a throwback movie.
Did they redo it?
No, just the original Tremors. Kevin Bacon. Would you consider that a throwback movie?
Yeah. Tremors wasn't bad.
No, that was awesome. That was probably one of my favorite movies because just when it came out, you think about it, you can't make a sound. You have to travel on the ground. The thing can jump a couple 100 feet in the air, so it's not like a helicopter could rescue you. You'd have to be on like they're on a tractor or like a, M1 Abrams tank or something.
Yeah.
So
there was that one. Which one had Reba McEntire in it? Was that Tremors?
That was the first one.
Okay, yeah, that was a good one.
Bert.
She was like this crazy redneck with arsenal in her basement.
Yeah, Heather Gunner.
Ford versus Ferrari is another movie I probably will go see. It's about
that looks pretty cool.
When they designed the GT40 to beat Ferrari at the Le Mans 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Yeah, that looks really good too.
Then after that, it looks like Star Wars Episode 9.
Yep. So if I can convince my wife to let me get a movie pass, maybe I'll go see some of these newer movies and we can talk about those. Because that means she has to watch the kids while I'm out seeing
Critters. We did Critters, Colin. That was one of Jason's picks.
Yeah, I liked it. I've actually watched the other ones. There's a TV series being developed by Sci-Fi that's supposed to kind of continue the story a little bit.
Critters wasn't horrible. Kind of in line with some of those movies, those '80s cheesy sci-fi movies like The Gate or House. Those were always kind of fun. So
Yeah, I'll have to go back. We recorded those with videos on Skype, so I'll have to post those on the Facebook page. That'd be pretty cool to do. Upload our old midlife crisis movies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, outside of that, man, you been playing any video games or anything?
Dude, I have not. Well, I played a little bit of Destiny.
Go figure.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to get my power cap up. Me and Ostatson tried to run the Last Wish raid Sunday, and my Xbox crashed. So I don't know what's going on. Either power supply or some combo they're in with. I mean, I could try swapping it out with one of my others, but too lazy, I guess. That's really it, man. Just been busy. Summertime, kids keep me busy. We're going to eat ice cream like every night, so I'm probably gonna gain 75 pounds this summer. But that's about it. How about you? What have you been playing?
So Colin Chapman's leaving us. Have a good night, Colin. Appreciate you joining us.
See you, man.
After watching E3, I kind of got into this nostalgia kick, and I've been trying to write down like a bunch of games I used to play in the 90s growing up that were really significant to me. So I've been playing Quake a little bit, but I have an old PC copy of Final Fantasy VII, and so I've been playing that a bunch and going through that game a little bit, and that's been a lot of fun. But yeah, Colin Zayas is asking about Apex. I've been playing that a little bit on PC. I don't have PUBG on PC. I've got to get it. I've got to decide. I've got to figure out where I'm going to land. I really hope with Microsoft's new Game Pass, because it covers PC and Xbox. I would really love it if they would put some of the Game Pass games that are on Xbox, like PUBG and stuff, on the PC side too, so I could play them more, and get into that, because I really want to do that again. But I suck at PUBG. But Colin, anytime you see me online, you feel free to hit me up with either one. I really wish they'd do Complay.
Colin's a console gamer, right?
Yeah. I really wish they'd really introduce crossplay a lot better. I get why they don't, because mouse and keyboard is much more superior to the controller from a response time, and people with a PC can have better frame rates and do a lot more meddling, if you will. But
yeah. That's Destiny's my jam. Obviously gonna continue to play that. Nothing really coming out in the foreseeable future that I want to get or need to get or have time to get. Like to play more golf. As you see my hat here, I'm a golfer.
Yep.
That's good. Try to play as much as I can, but Destiny's been really fun. I will say, with the new season of Opulence, I think now you see a lot of the decision making that Bungie's done in lieu of the split from Activision.
Yep.
I think they're making a game that the fans want. I think Activision really muddied the waters up with trying to maintain a cost analysis on the game, and Bungie has wanted to slow things down to deploy a game that the fans want. They don't want this 2-year refresh cycle. I think if you ask Bungie, they would like to see Destiny 2 run for 5 years. They made a comment on one of the webinars. The problem is the install is so big now. It's like 90 gig for Destiny 2 with all of the DLC. Because they were asked if they're going to bring back some of the D1 content, because with the new Shadowkeep expansion, we're going back to the moon. And so they started asking, well, can you bring back Vault of Glass or Crota Raid and all that stuff? And I think they would like to. It's just a matter of the capacity of the game is too big to do it.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean,
most of these game installs now, when you're getting them for the Xbox, they're 50, 60 gigs just off the base, and then I'll get patches and stuff. They're 2-3 gigs. You get those, every 3 months, once a quarter. Yeah, you'll have a 90 gig plus game by the end of it, and if you're a first time player, geez, that's install it tonight and play it on Sunday kind of thing.
Right. Which I think. So there's I makes sense. I mean, from a fan perspective, I don't like it, but from a guy with a limited hard drive space, I understand it, and I appreciate their openness about it, rather than just tell me, we're thinking about it, or it's in the roadmap or whatever. So
We're thinking about it, but we don't think it's going to happen because of capacity issues.
but I don't know how games like World of Warcraft do it. Is there? I don't know. I don't know that franchise well enough. If there's different, installers, or how, granted we're talking PC versus console, or capacity is not as big of an issue. But
I was going to say, I've got a 2 terabyte hard drive I barely scratched the surface on.
yeah, I had a 1 terabyte until it died, and maybe that's my goal this summer. Is my wife tells me I have too many projects. One, I need to finish painting the kitchen, so that's my first project. Second project is I want to get into the art of smoking meats. Not to sound as gross as that is, but we were down in Texas last week, and I had some of the best barbecue I've ever had. So getting into smoking.
And it wasn't Franklin's. Franklin's is great, by the way. If you're ever in Texas, Franklin's is great barbecue. But we went to, what was it, Styles and Switch, I think.
Yeah,
it was really, really good.
Oh, dude, that was best Frito chili pie I've ever had in my life. I highly recommend it. So I want to get into that, and then maybe at some point I'll just go to Best Buy and buy a hard drive and replace it. But then that'd probably be after I take my daughter to college.
Yep.
Colin, sorry, but it was a quick thing. We didn't have a whole lot of free time. We kind of in and out. So next time we'll be down there. I'll be down there a lot more often, so I'll hit you up. But I don't know. I think the opulence where they are with Destiny, I think it's been fun. You don't have to kill yourself to power up. They make power ups pretty easy now. And then Bungie announced cross save. I think Bungie wants to do cross play. It sounds like that has always been something that Activision has fought against. Obviously, they'd rather sell 3 copies of their game than 1. But I do think either by D3 or sometime in D2 we will see crossplay. I would like to see that happen. If it's PC and Xbox first, and then they can bring Sony in, whatever, I don't care. But I think they can. I think Bungie wants this. They want it in a big way. So I think they're going to work to make that happen.
Yeah,
which would be cool.
Yeah.
They're getting away from the console exclusives. A lot of, there's a great video by a guy named Houndish who is on YouTube, does a lot of great videos about Destiny, and he talks about it. So, go check out Houndish's videos and learn something about the game. But it's been fun.
There's just a lot. There's a lot of content between not just Destiny, but you talk about Destiny, then you talk about PC, and then all the games you can play there, and some of the stuff you can go back and play, and then Switch and Sony and stuff that's coming out in the future, and there's just so much out there, and I'm it's like I want to get the new Final Fantasy games when they come out, but that requires I got to buy a PlayStation, and that's $400 plus the games, and the game. It's like they're doing that in an episodic way, so you only play so much of the game because it's fully 3D rendered. I mean, when PlayStation 1, when Final Fantasy came out, it was 3 discs, and that was a PlayStation 1 game. Now they're redoing it fully 3D and much more enriched content and kind of doing some backstory stuff. It's going to cost it's going to be forever. Colin does not like the PlayStation, I see. So
no, I think he's saying first-person shooter.
Oh, no, I thought he was saying FPS. No,
I
don't know. We'll see.
Shooter. No, I'm with Colin. I'm not screw Sony. I'm not buying that crap. I mean, I've never been a Final Fantasy guy, so that game doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah. See, I was. Square and Eidos have a special place because that's what I grew up playing with originally. Because Microsoft didn't exist until post PS2, pre PS3 times.
I mean, the only other than PC, the only console I would consider buying might be the Nintendo Switch, but that Minecraft Dungeons looks so much like Legend of Zelda. I don't know if I would have to at that point. Oh, that game looks awesome. I will admit, coming off of E3, that's probably one of the biggest game titles I liked. That I got the most. I was like, okay, I'm interested in this game now. I was never interested in Minecraft before. Now I am.
There's a lot of great content out there, so it's just tough to get in time. It's not like we work for IGN where we can just sit around and play games and review them. And
that'd be nice.
Oh yeah, I'd love to get into that, but that's a hard industry to crack into. So
Yeah.
I'll stick with where I'm at. So, I mean, that's really all I got. The only thing I want to complain about is I've been I started a Loot Crate subscription. So I was like, oh, it'd be kind of cool, something we could do on the show. I get a box, open it up, see what kind of cool stuff they give me, what sucks. Started it in, was it May? Paid in June, and I still don't even have one package from them. So I canceled today. So I've got 2 coming to me at some point. So if I ever get them, we'll open them up live on Facebook, or I'll just something fun to do. But yeah, I'm totally got screwed over by those guys. So they could go get hit by a car right now. Is how I feel.
Well, I'm on a
not the business, or people, but the company itself.
Yeah, I'm on a Loot Crate myself, but it's a one called Short Par 4. It's a golf clothing Loot Crate.
Oh yeah, I've seen stuff like that.
And so they send me, I'll get like shorts and shirts, and I'm an Oklahoma State fan. I think the black and orange kind of speaks for it. But I made some sort of calculation, and you can set up your profile in Short Par 4. What sort of you want loud style, you want more traditional,
yeah.
You want flashy colors, and I put in there like there's a promo code for Ricky Fowler, because Ricky Fowler's on. He went to Oklahoma State, but he's one of their main golfers that they support. And I used his promo code, and now everything I get is like gray and orange. So I got this really nice Callaway shirt that's orange and gray, and these gray shorts, and then I got this Under Armour shirt that's dark gray, orange. It's just like, okay, guys, enough of the orange. Either that's all you've got in stock, but come on, I don't want pinks and yellows, but something else. But I know your frustration with Loot Crating, so.
Yeah, I like those things. I think, a lot of times they're not that expensive. It comes once a month. My wife does one that she got hooked on. I think it's like from some blogger, Instagrammer or something, and it comes quarterly, and I think hers is like $50 a quarter, and it's some pretty cool stuff. She got a $200 pair of sunglasses out of it. So it's one of those things you just pay in a little bit, and if everybody pays in, once you cover your overhead for all the items and packaging and stuff, you start to make money. I assume that's how those work, because they also probably buy in bulk. But
yeah,
I think they're kind of cool too, because it's nice to get a neat little whatever or something. I wish they had one that was more like gadgets and tech stuff, but it wasn't like, hey, here's a Raspberry Pi, go code it and program it and spend 10 hours soldering. I don't want to do that. But they don't have those. So I was hoping Loot Crate would kind of shine through for me, but they've let me down.
No. Cancel, get your money back. See what happens.
No, I won't get my money back. So I'll just take the 2 shipments. There's another one I'm looking at called Geek XP. It's kind of similar. And there's another one too. It's like Zoot Crate. It's probably everybody that left Loot Crate because they thought they sucked, and they're doing the right job.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right, man. I got nothing else to talk about. My voice is going out anyway, so I think it's a great time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We appreciate everyone coming by tonight. Thanks for jumping in. You have no idea how much better it makes a show when we have crowd participation. I mean, it's great to talk to some of our followers and kind of have that interaction. And, Colin, we'll get you on the Midlife Crisis Matinee. The only caveat, I think we have to keep the cuss words down to a minimum, because Jason's preacher likes to watch us, and we don't want to offend anybody. So,
well, keeping it PG-13, please.
Yeah, okay. Want to talk about reef aquariums. Maybe. But, we appreciate you guys, tuning in tonight. I looked, and at one point we had, it looked like 5 or 6 subscribers, and maybe people kind of dip in, dip out. But, we do this for you guys. It's a great opportunity for Jason and I to just kind of chat about stuff we find interesting, share our thoughts and opinions with our subscribers and our listeners. So if there's anything you guys want to hear us talk about, like reef aquariums, Colin, we'll throw that on our Facebook page, and we'll do it. But no, we enjoy doing this. We get together every Tuesday night at 9:30 Central Time to kind of hash this out. So, Jason, you got anything else you want to say?
No, if you like the show, share it with your friends. Share it on Facebook. I'm gonna go through, and I'm gonna upload all of our old Midlife Crisis Matinees on Facebook in a video section, so anybody can go back and watch those dumpster fires that they were in our arguments. But yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, that does it for this episode of Nerf Herder Radio. And as they say in the Star Wars universe, the Force will be with you.